Bloodiest day of the year thus far in the crypto and NFT markets. NFTs are dead. Crypto's going to zero. Where do we go from here? As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice. We're not financial advisors. The NFT space is incredibly risky, so always do your own research. And if you enjoy the content, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button. Really helps us out. So, gentlemen, what are we even doing here given how rough the markets are? We should probably just get day jobs, right?
Yeah, dude, we're just builders. It was funny. Andy, the
From
guy, Fractional.
Yeah.
He had a funny tweet today where he's like trolling people that are like, oh, I'm like building in the bear. They're like, yeah, man, that's so hard. You literally have no other options, but you're like you're acting like it's a noble thing. Like you're basically saying I have nothing left
doing
to
my
do,
job,
but
I'm showing up
do
to
my
work.
actual job. Yeah, he was like, it's actually like more noble to be like heads down building in a bull market than a bear, right? Like you're just saying in the bull market, I wasn't building, I was day trading, but
Right.
now that everything's to zero, I'm back to building.
I'm actually working. What's this tweet that's like going around? I just saw our guy Robert post it. He said, "Back to your landscaping job, slave." I don't know. I've seen like 3 people post that on Twitter. I know it's like a big thing. I don't know, but people are posting it. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to make it in landscaping or construction personally.
And by the way, people have noticed that Pio, he stopped showering during this market, during a bear. His Bitcoin underwater, all of his holdings fully
heating
underwater.
That water ain't cheap these days, you know? You cut back on the showers, the heating bills go down a little bit.
So
making coffee at home.
You know. So Nick, like you're the technical analysis guy. How bad do you think things are about to get?
Well, I basically nailed it so I went back and looked, and I actually rewatched the video that we did, and I misspoke with the number that I was saying. I actually said 1,400, but I was measuring but it was actually 1,300 if you do the math. It was from this top, which was at 2150, all the way down to 1722. So if you take 2150 minus 1722, and then that's 428. So you take 1722 minus 428, you end up with 1294. So that was the price target based off of this falling wedge, as I called it. At this point, the biggest thing is that 1,300 was a key level that we pierced. We went down to basically 11 something, and then there was a flash on Uniswap down to 950. I mean, at this point, we're just dropping. And I don't see there being any... well, we could see like short-term relief rallies. We didn't get any today. We saw a slight bounce off of the 1180, but that has not resolved the situation.
And on Wednesday, is that when the Feds announce the rate?
Yeah, so there's
if there's a catalyst for a relief rally, it would be that.
And that's what a lot of people are anticipating, is that there's going to be something suggesting that things are improving. But regardless, where do you end up? Like, what's the thing that's gonna, like, do we think that one comment, where do we go? Like, do we jump back up to this like 17
or 1,500? I mean, 1,500 is still like 20%.
Yeah, that's the thing that's crazy right now. I was considering, I was like, man, do I just put like 100 grand in and try and ride a pump up?
100 grand, like with a tight stop at like 1180 or something.
Mm-hmm. I think there may be some interesting trades there. That's actually not a bad idea. The problem that I've run into with Gemini is I can't do both trades at the same time. So you can't actually put you basically you just need the stop loss, and then if you decide to exit, you just cancel that out and then go place the trade. Regardless, first world problems. It's not a bad bet to play.
Yeah, I mean, like the equity stock markets got absolutely pummeled 2 days in a row.
I didn't even see how bad was it.
I mean, Nasdaq
Today
almost
we're
was
down
5%. Nasdaq was down like 4.6% today, and I think on Friday it was down below 3%. So
Yeah,
like 10% gone in 2 days.
Tesla at 650. That's a juicy price. Juicy.
I've wanted to ask this PO.
300 bucks. Let's go, baby.
Oh my
What are you
Let's
doing?
go.
He's buying more Tesla.
You're buying more. So
You
PO,
got
I
it.
wonder, is your position on Bitcoin and Tesla net positive or negative at this point?
I started buying Bitcoin at 7,000 bucks, baby. And I'm up 17% on one of my Tesla positions right here. I own almost 100 total shares. No big deal.
Are you masking a gambling problem as an investment?
What are you talking? It would be gambling if I sell it after, right?
You told me one position. What does that even mean? Like that was like
How
one
many
block of
positions do you
shares.
have over there, dude?
I have a bunch of different accounts, and I just haven't asked. I've never sold Tesla stock since I bought it. I've never sold it, so I've just been amassing it for a long time. I just bought $296 right now.
It's dropped by 50% so far. From the top. I'm just wondering, like, what are your thoughts?
My thought is it'll eventually be $1,200 again, so 650 sounds like a pretty good price. And from a conviction standpoint, I mean, I can go off. People don't seem to care when we talk about things that aren't NFT related, but the fundamentals of Tesla, I don't know any other company that I have the same level of conviction in. / I also haven't researched any company the same way I've researched Tesla, like the depth of my research. I spent a lot of time researching it. And you've made some comparisons with not comparisons, but you gave me an example of Peloton, your Peloton trade, and how it made sense for you to sell the top on that, right? And I totally understand why you gave me that example, but I don't believe that it applies to Tesla, because I believe that Tesla is the first $5 trillion company that we're going to see. It's, the future of technology, from an automobile perspective, but just all sorts of vehicles and insurance and batteries and energy and solar and everything. I can go on, but yeah, Tesla's my thing. It's my thing.
I didn't compare Peloton to Tesla. I was discussing just trading, but they're definitely two incomparable things. Anyways, I don't want to go off on stocks. The reason I asked this question is because what I'm trying to get an understanding of, you always discuss dollar cost averaging, but when do you sell? Do you ever sell?
Things like Tesla and Bitcoin, never. What I've really learned now.
What do you mean never though? Like, I don't know. Like what's
leave
the
them
strategy?
To your kids. Keep them in the family. Leave them to your kids.
So what percentage of your net worth do you leave to your kids?
All of it. I mean, can't bring it with you, right?
So it's like, what do you want?
What are you gonna live off of in retirement?
Yeah, like I'm trying. Like, what's your strategy for life? Like right now, you've been saving money, living in an attic, and so you're sitting in that attic, and you're saying, I'm gonna take all of that money and put it into Bitcoin and Tesla. I'm just trying to get a good understanding of it. What point are you like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a house, or like I'm saving for that, and I'm gonna take some money out. So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'd buy a house. I won't sell that either. I'm going to help my mom buy another house. We're not going to sell this house. We're just going to hold this shit.
But what money are you going to buy the house with?
I got mad money, bro.
But I thought it's all in Bitcoin and Tesla.
No,
He's going to take a loan out against his positions at Goldman Sachs.
That's something that can happen in the future for sure. No, but what my big thing that I did learn over the past year and a half is to sell the like speculative ass shit like NFTs. You definitely got to sell those. So if you look at my wallets, I've sold an assload of NFTs. I just don't sell Tesla stock or Bitcoin. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I've sold some Ethereum, quite frankly, which is kind of wild.
Okay. Sold some Ethereum.
A little bit.
That you were holding on to?
Yeah, I got Ethereum.
But only for the purpose. You realize what why? Why sell that and not sell any Bitcoin when it's at Pico top? Because couldn't you, if the strategy is to buy more Tesla or the strategy is to buy more Bitcoin, why couldn't you sell when hype is at its peak and then buy more when there's panic? Like right now, you could have gotten a 70% discount.
Yeah. You also have taxable events. You have short-term cap gains. You know, there's a lot of different stuff to keep in mind with that. I'm not a full-time trader. I'm not a full-time investor. A lot of people claim that that's their actual angle. I totally understand people that are full-time traders or investors having an approach where they sell, they buy, they sell, they buy. But for me, I have income, and I've always had income, and I plan on continuing to have actual income. And with my income, I just take on kind of a more conservative approach where I accumulate. And I know both of my co-hosts here have a different perspective, and you guys have both done incredibly well. I have no stones to throw at you guys, you know, but you know, when Bitcoin realizes its destiny, don't come knocking on my door, because you're not getting into the Bitcoin castle.
Well, I'm accumulating Bitcoin also, so it's all good. And you know what I'm doing that with? Money that I've earned by selling at the top. So let's jump over to the NFTs though. There's nothing in terms of price action here. There's really nothing to say. It looks like shit, and at this point, we don't have another level to go off of. So I have nowhere. I don't buy in the midst of capitulation. I don't catch falling knives. I look for next levels, and right now I don't have one to go off of. I mean, we can go back and look at the fastest path is to look at this. Right now we're hovering at this range, which is seems like one support level. We go down again. Next up, we got 1,000. So that's what we're looking at, is pretty much those two levels for me. That's the simple version of it. There may be some other levels in between. I went out to the week, but right at this point, it's just wait and see, because instead, like we're anticipating at some point, right? A true bear is when everyone's talking about building, this is the time. You get moves from, you know, in this case, it was 73 up to 312. That's some good stuff. You can make 300, 400, 500% during those ranges and have it drop and range in between. But for the most part, these huge drops and then this sort of run up, you can make money on this sort of thing. But overall, I don't know. I don't have anything to move off of at this point, and I'm looking for any sort of weekly support that we can be like, cool, we have a green wick. We don't have a single green wick at this point. Still, this is the longest that we've ever gone.
Dude. Oh my God.
With red. It's like playing roulette when you're sitting there and you're spinning it, and then you're like, it can't hit red that many times, right? and you still have the same chance of it hitting red, and it does. Anywho, I don't have anything else to add to this.
Kicks.
What are you gonna say?
Yeah, man. I've been telling people when they're like asking for like price predictions, I'm like, anyone that gives you an answer is an idiot, because the truth is that nobody knows. No one has any idea. The bottom is going to be a price, and the best time to buy is going to be a price. Like the specifics on it are just crazy. But I mean, like there's weird things happening out there. Like I don't know if y'all saw, but like treasuries went up by like treasury yields went up by like 7% today. I don't even know what that means. I'm not smart enough to get that, but I'm assuming that's not normal activity. But yeah, I mean, I think that maybe we get a little relief rally with some news on Wednesday. I mean, you got to think that the Fed's thinking they're walking a little bit of a tightrope here between inflation and destroying the economy or the investment side of the economy. You'd have to think that maybe they just eventually give up on trying to fight inflation, and we just accept persistent 10% inflation.
Yeah.
And they keep the music going instead of having 10% inflation and the market permanently tanked for 5 years. I think that they'll probably eventually just give up on the inflation, right?
And why is that, Kicks?
Because they can't give up on they have to keep printing.
But why?
Because Bitcoin is
No.
solution?
No.
Because Bitcoin is going to be the underpinnings of the global financial ecosystem or system.
Well, that is correct.
And right now that what they're doing is they are harvesting Bitcoins in El Salvador using the power of volcanoes.
Got it. The reason why is because the people that make the decisions that impact what we're talking about are rich people and they're asset owners. And no matter what, it doesn't matter what you say, they are going to make decisions that benefit themselves and other asset owners. They are not going to make decisions for the people that are living paycheck to paycheck.
The only difference is that the Fed, they sold all of their stocks at the literal top in November due to conflict of interest. So they don't give a fuck. They're like, now they're trying to give themselves a juicy buyback in. But no, I totally hear your point, and it's valid. But yeah, like in the NFT markets, like, I'm really not going to touch anything until like we see ETH kind of settle for a little bit. And then I think NFTs could potentially, have some nice runs. It's so hard for someone to hold an asset that can get whacked in two different ways. That's one unique thing about NFTs, right? Is that they can get whacked in ETH, but they also can get whacked by ETH dropping at the same time. And so it's this hard pill to swallow. And I think that's why we're seeing, some selling pressure out there. I'm tempted to buy ETH here, but I just think that I may regret that. So I think I may not do that. I don't know.
Joey Bada Boom asked, "Is this the Fire Island reunion?"
Yeah, pretty much.
It's got to be because of what I'm wearing.
Right. So, Pio, let's pull up the OpenSea.
It was
leaderboard.
Pretty wild as he's pulling it up. Just a little drama story from NFT land, because you gotta enjoy a little drama here and there. So Zagabond paid $1.6 million to like the Zunks community. You know what I mean? I guess to maybe make amends because they said he soft drugged it or whatever.
Right.
So he pays $1.6 million to the treasury, which is being ran by the mods in the Discord. Yep. The first thing that the mods decide to do with this, these returned or restored treasury funds is to pay themselves out $455,000.
Shocker. Never heard of that before in the NFT space. Shocker.
And I think that just perfectly sums up the NFT space, which is just that, like, so many people have these high morals, and then as soon as they get in the driver's seat, it's just max greed. Literally, Zagabond tries, to do right or whatever, sends 1.6 million. They take 30% just off the top as a management fee, dude.
No hesitation. We've seen it so many times. I'm surprised that it was only 30%. They probably were patting themselves on the back that it was only 30%, literally being like, we're so great that we didn't take 80% the way everybody else does. I just wanted to, before I load up OpenSea, I wanted to see if you guys agree with this thread. I saw that this thread was getting quite a bit of play, almost 11,000 likes, 600 quote tweets, 4,000 retweets. There are 3 stages of a bear market. We just entered stage 2.
Wait, hold on. We're going to read the whole thread?
I just wanted to get a little perspective from you before you get all cranky, Nick. What do you think about the thread? Just give me a little, indication of what you're thinking about with the thread. Then we'll move right on. We don't need to read the whole thread. Do you think that there's any kind of validity to it, or do you think it's all hype, Nick?
What do you mean all hype?
So, Nick, I need you to play ball just a little bit. And just, let's look at this thread.
I need you to not speak to me in a condescending tone. I don't understand. Hey, what I need you to do, son, is do this thing. I looked at the thread. It's explaining a bear market and this person's thoughts on the 3 phases. I took a look at it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Nick wanted to go look at the OpenSea rankings, right? So that's what Nick in his mind is interested in doing.
No, that's not what I'm focused on. I'm just wondering what you want to do. It has nothing to do with that.
Monster curveball that's just throwing everything for a loop.
Maybe you can just answer my question.
We're gonna move to OpenSea rankings. We're not gonna.
What do you want to discuss from the thread?
So, do you feel that stage 1 was? So basically, right here it says, right, that stage 1 or stage 2 is forced capitulation. That's where we're at right now. The narratives start to die. The prices start to fall 90%, then another 90%. You start to see layoffs. You start to see mainstream media and cynics rise up in stage 2. They're going to be laughing at us. He said Luna sent us into stage 2, the Luna incident. Do you agree with that?
I mean, there's been a combination, a confluence of things that's led to this market imploding, inflation being the largest thing. Luna was an accelerant on something which a market was already imploding. Now we have Celsius, which is another item that's going down, and that has not even been fully materialized at this point. And I think it's like $5 or $10 billion that's being held there associated with customer deposits, which is absolutely ludicrous. So I don't know. It's difficult for me to say which of these are. I think it's this person has a great opinion, but it seems like the conclusion of what they're just saying is, here's what a bear market looks like, and just stick for the long term, and stick around and build. I mean, that seems like what the thread's conclusion is.
Well put, Nick. We're going to move on to the OpenSea rankings. Okay.
In the summary of that thing was that, like, the true, like, bear market is when everyone just quits. They're not even angry anymore. They just give up.
Yeah, they leave.
Which will be very painful if we have to go through that. But I look forward to seeing all the real ones on the other side.
I've seen people who came out the other end, and all that happened was they had millions more dollars during this most recent rally. And a lot of them were selling their Bitcoin and Ethereum, the ones that I spoke with, where they had gone through the problem of in the last implosion, a lot of people kept their treasuries in ETH and in Bitcoin because they thought it was the future of the financial ecosystem that was imminently going to occur. And so, yeah, then the speculative bubble popped for the second time, and we saw the price drop and capitulation, and and it was dark times for a lot of those people that were operating.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of wisdom from them that has come through again this time, and people who have seen that play out before and say, I'm not doing that. Like us, we immediately moved all of our money into stable coins, independent of price action. That was up at like
$3,300.
33?
Yeah. $3,300.
So that was
unbelievable move.
Yeah, that was a good price. And then we've seen that play out time and time again. And so I think what we really need, though, and this is the thing which is really tough, and I agree with that thread on as well, is that sticking it out, like when a market truly capitulates, it usually tests you for a long period of time, the same way that they say the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, sort of thing, like for short sellers. It's the same thing in the inverse direction if you have a true bear market. And that, to me, is the thing which is sort of interesting, is a lot of the stuff that we've seen, at least in my lifetime, every single financial implosion has been a very fast rebound. Even the financial collapse, if you just bought at that price, you would have made a ton of money.
08, 09.
Yeah, same with COVID. And then there was another one. I don't even remember what the other one was. I mean, post 9/11 was one. There were multiple that had occurred. And I think that's something that I don't know if any of us have actually lived through that like extended bear sort of thing outside of the crypto market. And for the most part, everyone who I knew that was in the crypto space last time around was in the crypto market last time around went through a lot of people left, and that was the bottom line. And now there's a lot more capital in this space. I see so many more people there's investors, and I also see a lot more talent, and I see people who are used to building startups, and a lot of those they typically take years to die. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a different one, and it'll be fun to see, what people build during the downtime. And hopefully, one thing we get out of this is just a better fucking system, other than like MetaMask, right? Like that to me is the thing that I think I'd love to see. Just an evolution on is something that's better than that. So
we're going to see a lot. We're going to see advancements in security, and that's going to be a big thing. We're going to see monster advancements in user interface. That's going to be a huge thing, because user interface on crypto is so hard. Like, we take for granted that we know how to move and everything. And I actually just want to ask, Captain Kicks, you look a little bit down in the dumps, buddy. I hate seeing you like this. You're a positive energy guy. What's on your mind, man? What's going on?
It's mostly I just didn't get a ton of sleep last night. Had a couple too many beers, but despite not being exposed to much of the markets, it does weigh on you a little bit when things are getting whacked this bad. So definitely feel a little down in the dumps. I guess I really pick up on the energy of the markets. I also tried to long ETH 100K. I just lost $1,200.
It's going up right now, though. Really?
Yeah, I just needed to feel real quick.
What did you buy in at?
1% higher than I just sold at. I just need to sit on my hands. That was my lesson of the day.
But your sushi trade is going well.
Yeah. Up a little bit on the sushi trade. Can't complain there.
There's one broader thing that I wonder about here. And that's something in Punk 6520. I don't remember all the numbers.
6529.
Yeah, 6529. I had it right in my mind. He talks about seizing the memes of production, and he has multiple threads on this. But it really feels like that what we just observed with this huge rally is that a lot of corporate or just corporations are going to try and enter and own the NFT space. We saw Salesforce do this, and we see a lot of other places that are doing this. And I think that during this bear, that's something that I expect a ton of, and it really is an issue because ultimately everyone's just interested in speculative action, and if you can get that in places outside of this market, then that ends up sucking up a lot of the demand from within here. And that's something that I think is underappreciated by this community, is how many resources these larger corporations have to potentially implement things which could essentially just suck up and eat this entire space that we're operating in at this moment.
Well, when you say suck up and eat, what do you mean? Just like throw their weight around to a degree that they have like a big market share of the space?
Yeah, just when we think about digital goods. Well, today, the vast majority of digital goods happen within games. Mm-hmm. And so it's already owned by corporations for the most part. And I just think we're going to see more of that migrate to Apple having an app store or anything else like that occurring, where they end up just owning those digital goods and you're operating on there, and maybe they're providing the market for it. That said, we haven't seen them, historically it's only been for buy and not for sell. And that's the thing that, OpenSea and a lot of these other NFT marketplaces have opened up the possibility for, is that you can also sell. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
Real quick, I just want to call out that A. Hamilton gave us £1.50, so the British currency, and he said it's for a hot dog with ketchup. So thank you, A. Hamilton. We can now afford a hot dog with ketchup. He knows what these Americans want to eat. But no, Nick, that was a great point. I think Disney is a company that you're going to see.
Disney would be another, because they like VV chain. I mean, imagine this market going down, the prices getting, the valuations compressing on these startups, and large, well-capitalized corporations just like either eat them or go build their own thing ultimately. Yep. And I think that that's something that that'll be an issue months to a couple of years down the road. we were so early in this cycle, in the NFT cycle.
Yep.
One, like I went back and looked. If you look at the data from the right before, so 2020.
Yep.
The number of people trading NFTs was literally less than 2,000.
Yeah, there was no one, right?
Yeah.
That was the crypto and DeFi year. People were waking up to Bitcoin. The Michael Saylors of the world were waking up to Bitcoin. The people that were already in crypto, DeFi summer, right? DeFi summer. Then the fall is when the NFT boys came out. Don't get me wrong. There were some OGs that had
And
pumps
women.
from 17 and 18. Okay. The NFT, look at the face. Look at the face he's making. Just so he's like, is this motherfucker sexist right here? It's like he's really like, am I in business with a guy who's sexist? Yeah, but then at the end of that year, that's when I found out about NFTs. I didn't have the guts to just go and start aping right then and there, but I would have been buying some of the early things like probably punks for under $500 US, and Beeple dropped his stuff in December 2020 for $1,000 US on Nifty Gateway. That infamously went up to 150 to 200K a pop, all of them. But that's when you start seeing NFTs cook. Top Shot also late 2020 starts cooking.
Someone said, thank you for defending women's rights, and you're welcome. You're welcome. That's why people tune in. That's why people tune into our show, is so that we can stand by and support our fellow female brethren. Anyways, what do you make of the current market, though? And here's the thing to me, and I wrote this in the newsletter last night. There's still an incredible amount of volume in the NFT space, and it's not like this market is dead. Like, it's not gone.
Kind of nuts.
And even if it dropped by another 50%, if you have a place which is at a multi-billion-dollar annual run rate, then it's a legit. I don't know which point you
Have you
call
seen
it
the
industry.
monthly charts for OpenSea?
It probably doesn't look great.
Yeah, dude, you got to see it.
Pull it up and share your screen.
Let me send it over to you.
It probably doesn't look great. But you know what I do like to see is we got this volume on OpenSea. Look at this top 5. Very nice top 5.
Well, we've resumed back to
good stuff.
The reasonable, monthly volume. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Well, let's see. Here we go. So
we're halfway through the month. We're at 372 million. Maybe we hit 700
like
million.
a fucking midget trying to take a family picture, dude.
Okay. All right.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting that's a bad word. I apologize. I absolutely apologize. A short person.
We're going from the.
Sorry.
Look at this. Look at this chart. Holy shit. Like, Nick, do you want to explain what we're looking at here?
We're looking at a chart.
Nice.
There you go. So
explain for the people that are just listening.
For those that are on the podcast, it's basically a chart showing the volume month by month. Essentially what happened was after July of last year, so August comes out, and the NFT volume last year exploded up to 3.4 billion. And I think that would be the mutant ape time is what really exploded the volume at that point. The month before was 328 million. What it also ultimately shows is that there was no serious volume in the OpenSea collectible space until February of around $100 million that month, which was pretty significant. So 328 million back in last July. It's been averaging over $2 billion every single month for 6, 9, 10 months. So that means $20 billion of volume was done. This month, though, we're back down to a complete implosion, and we're on pace to do around 700 million for the month. So it's not great numbers. That said, it's going to be twice as much as July of last month. And
of last year?
Yeah, last year. And so it's not the worst case scenario, but it definitely shows how small this market is.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm pulling up what Kix just sent real quick. A Hamilton just hit us with another couple of quid, this time for a hamburger. So thank you very much.
Dude.
Let's go. Kix, you were going to say something about what you just sent?
Yeah, it's just I think this is the one thing you have to be cautious about if you're like looking to accumulate the blue chips is that like look at this guy just setting a pranksy like floor on the Clone X's or I guess a sell wall rather.
He's got what 25, 30, no more. He's got like 50 Clone X all listed at 8 on the dot.
And has sold like at least 20, if not more, over the past couple of days. You know, because you had these groups or individuals that like accumulated huge amounts of these blue chips, right? And if they want to exit their entire position, that is a lot of selling that they have to do on the market. So I mean, it's just wild. Like CloneX, you know, went down to 7 today. It's coming back up to the 8 floor, but then there's this, you know, huge wall of things listed at 8 that are.
Well, they have a bunch more of them in another wallet. I see another 5, 9, 11, 15, 19. So they got another 20 in another in a vault wallet.
Yeah, so someone's just full exiting their position, and this is why you can see crazy volatility in the prices. I think we highlighted on the show this morning that Bored Apes like went down to like 16, you know, below 70, and now they're back up to 80. I think we're going to see lots of volatile swings in NFTs because, you know, one or two people trying to, you know, rapidly exit can put a lot of downward pressure on the price. So there is potentially some interesting, you know, like capitulation trading opportunities. I mean, you could have made after fees, you know, a couple ETH swinging a Bored Ape at these prices. But yeah, you just got to be cautious out there because it only takes a couple people wanting to exit their bags to put a lot of downward pressure on even some of these blue chips.
Yeah, one guy's decision affects your net worth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel bad for Nate Alex. Nate Alex was talking about, you know, spent a crap ton of money on a bean or something like that and is down that. I mean, there's some real pain out there in NFTs, you know, 90% retracements. And it can potentially go lower if ETH, you know, stays shaky. But yeah, I mean, some of these prices, you know, start to look a little attractive. Like when you just kind of think in your head, a Clone X under 10K. You know, well, there's a lot of people that have been chomping at the bit to get that opportunity even 2 months ago.
I mean, I've lost $1 million, so that's where I'm at right now. So from the top. Now, I didn't lose that money. It's not like I bought it and then lost that money. I'm still up on my NFTs at this point, but it's still pretty crazy watching them capitulate in price. And it makes you wonder, like, what am I doing holding on to these things? But in the case of apes, they did bounce back up to 100,000 off of 85,000, which was
nice. We need at least one thing in the 6-fig category. Glad apes are still trying to make it happen.
Still holding strong there.
Appreciate that fighting.
I think the biggest thing is we need ETH to go sideways for a bit, as always, so that we can then readjust pricing here. And during this capitulation, this time, it's just very difficult for, you know, well, it's just difficult for any of the floors to go up. You know what Meebits are at
it's also
right now?
like, where's the new buyer money coming from? You know, like tech people are getting fired left and right. You think that a lot of tech people are the ones that get into NFTs, right? People's mortgages going up, their rent going up.
People are getting laid off from Gemini and Coinbase.
Yeah.
So it's like those people aren't buying NFTs.
Now they're not.
When Robinhood had its layoffs, whenever that was 6 weeks ago, we should have known you got to sell absolutely everything right then and there.
Yep. If I could, like, you know, pick like a pretty bearish target for like maybe when NFTs capitulate, like you'd think 300 million total volume a month. So that's 10 million a day. So that'd still be like 50% down from here on the volume. But then when you know, do the math on that, that's not terrible. That's $3.6 billion a year traded, 300 million a month. You know, just a random number, picking a number out of my hat. Like you could see it get to that potentially if people are just, done trading these. But yeah, I really think what Nick said, like it ties back to the ETH markets and just overall equities need some stabilization there. And then I've seen some people make the case that like NFTs could rally before crypto off the bottom. And I think that is very potentially likely to be true, just because I think a lot of the new entrants into the crypto space are going to come through NFTs, right? They may be the more popular than tokens into the next bull run potentially. I just think for a lot of people, NFTs are somewhat easier to get than, trying to understand the business model behind a token, you know what I mean? And emissions and unlock schedules and all these crazy things,
A
token
million
trading
percent.
is
A
pretty
million
advanced.
percent, man.
Yeah. So I do kind of subscribe to that thesis that when we do find a bottom in crypto, that could actually be, you can actually probably make more money in NFTs than you could buying crypto there. Also, since these things have a lot lower supply, right? Like a project has 10,000 of them, they have the potential to, I think, pump off of a bottom a lot quicker than, super liquid crypto tokens, where there still may be a lot of people, selling as soon as they come out from being underwater. So I'm definitely short-term bearish, but I do think NFTs have the potential for a setup where they could like bottom out, crypto bottoms out, and then NFTs go on like a nice run. I think that is a potential scenario.
You have any thoughts on that, Nick?
I like it. I'd like to see that. I think in general they have to capitulate to a level where everybody is questioning their decisions, and I feel like we definitely have gotten to some of those levels. That said, there's a lot of people just continuing to hold, and they're here saying, "Look, I got my bags are my bags, and I'm just going to stick with them."
Yeah.
And I think that's a great place to be.
There's
I'm
enough
on the hunt for deals.
Yeah, me too. And there's enough the thing is there's enough confidence in the creators of these things to make people want to either hold or hunt for deals. You know what I mean? Like there's enough confidence in fucking Kevin Rose for Moonbirds. Like it's just going to fucking go to zero after Kevin Rose said that it's the only thing he's focused on.
I mean,
Goblin's on a nice little run up to 4.2 from 3.65.
Dude,
wait, they're at 4.2 now?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Damian Hurst is at like 6. I mean, Jesus. Like,
well, all the art ones, those are the ones that people are looking at. One of the best things that we're seeing is, look, it's a flight to quality, and art historically is one of those things which is resistant against market capitulation. So yeah, the Damian Hurst have been very solid.
Here's the problem with like NFTs is if you still do the market cap analysis, some things
they're
still
inflated.
They still feel inflated, and it's crazy. I mean, because dude, you could have I sold my Moonbird at around $100,000, right?
Great trade.
At that market cap, it's 80% down from there. But at that market cap, maybe I sold it at 80. Maybe it's not down that bad. I sold it high, whatever. But at one point in time, Moonbirds were worth 100K USDC. You times that by $10,000, that is $1 billion market cap. That's what Moonbirds was at. That's insane. But now it's at 200 million. And I guess you could make an argument one way or another, whether that's still overvalued or if it's starting to get to an attractive price. But in this kind of macroeconomic condition for something, that launched 3 months ago, was it, right? Still has a valuation of $200 million.
It is pretty crazy. I mean, that said, 200 million is not bad because I think they have that much on their balance sheet. I think.
Yeah, right. You're almost buying them at cash basis.
Yeah, our NFT is trading at below our cash level, which is.
That's an attractive way to do some analysis on these blue chip projects. Like basically, a bet on Moonbirds right now is a bet that Kevin Rose can return $1 of value.
Well, what's their market cap?
Value. 200 million.
That's too high. I thought you were saying Bored Apes are at that level. So they don't have 200 million. They have like 10 million or maybe even 20 million in the bank. So they're at 10x.
Yeah.
10x the price.
Yeah, Bored Apes is at $1 billion market cap right now, right? 100,000 floor times 10,000.
Kind of cheap.
Goblintown just tweeted something with Ferocious.
What? Someone was pinging me over and over again telling me Larva Labs is behind Goblintown. I don't believe it.
That's the rumor that's been going around today.
Wow. Literally a tweet with Ferocious. I'm going to pull this up right now. And if you're looking at Twitter, what you really should be doing is loading up FTX and signing up at thenifty.com/FTX or with the code THENIFTY on your FTX mobile app. You're going to be able to trade stocks in this bear market, fractional shares, no payment for order flow on FTX. The best platform for trading all markets. You can long, you can short, you can do all that shit because it was built by traders for traders. And Sam Bankman-Fried basically owns Solana himself. So if you're a Solana guy, get on FTX. What the hell are you doing?
We're just making shit up.
Oh, come on. Look, FTX guys, no, the lowest fees, the lowest spreads for crypto when you're buying the dip right now. Gas's transactions on NFTs. Who the hell wants to pay for gas right now? Our NFT is on FTX. And if you sign up with our code and you spend over $200 on crypto, you get $20. And let's be real, you need $20 right now. Come on. So FTX, thenifty.com/FTX, or with the code THENIFTY on your FTX mobile app.
Goblins are running, man. There's a lot of cash that's sitting out there that's ready to be deployed. People buying goblins for $5,000. I mean, once, and it just proves to me the thought that I have, which is once you start, you just can't stop. You're in the system.
Oh, you're in the fucking system.
You're in
bro.
the system.
So they're running because Goblintown is hanging out with Ferocious at NFT NYC, which is dumb. If that is, or is it actually running off of the Yuga Labs rumors?
The Larva Labs rumors. It's probably running off of both, but
they're saying Larva Lab, not Yuga Lab.
Larva.
Yeah, they're saying what they're saying is the CryptoPunks founders went back and they've been building this basically, and this is part of their project. This is essentially the CryptoPunks founders that have created this.
So they've kind of used up the Yuga Labs rumor, so now they've moved to Larva Labs, or is there like some supporting evidence?
Well, CryptoPunks were a free mint. They were a free mint.
Yeah, so was NFT World. Is that by Larva Labs?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Archdev is Loot's also by Larva Labs.
I mean, the production quality on Goblins is high. We've said that before, so it wouldn't be too surprising for it to come from an established team. But for me, it's like, is there some sort of evidence, or is this all just unsubstantiated rumors?
Someone said we're gonna get to us three as the founders of Goblintown eventually.
Then it'll
dump. The rumor.
Then it'll dump for sure.
Dump.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying though? Like, is there any tie-in? Is there any hint? Like, oh, the contract was deployed from the same address that Punks was, or you said you got DM'd. Was there evidence attached to it?
Dude, I don't think so. People just the way they DM me about stuff is they go like, "Can't wait to see you talk about this in 3 weeks on the show," when I've been telling you for like 5 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
broken clock's right twice a day kind of thing.
Exactly. So there's no evidence. But look, if they legitimately have some sort of partnership or association with Ferocious, that's going to create a pump, I think, even in a bear market. You know, I think. Because of what Nick said, that people actually want to deploy capital into stuff. I don't know, Nick, anything to add?
No, I think that we're at it's an interesting time in this market. Look, the price of apes is going up. The price of cool cats has gone up. I'm looking at the ETH price on these. Meebit's floor gone up since I was just looking at it. It's at 2.7. It's now 3.
Nice. I was thinking Meebit's is kind of attractive.
Mutant's going up. I don't know. There's some interesting stuff happening. The reality is this NFT market, it is not just disappearing. It's not disappearing. It's just a lot of the activity is imploding. But most of that activity was driven heavily by mutant launches and huge runs of just people rushing in and flooding the market during a speculative boom. But this market's not dead.
I'm liking the tone. You're talking like you're telling us a secret. It's making me feel like you know something that I don't. You're making me very comfortable. I like that, Nick. Good job.
What was it? Was that your assessment of my commentary? I don't know. What was that?
I'm just playing with you. I thought everything that you said was good. We got to wrap because I lost track of time and we got Easy show in a minute and a half and I have to go do that. So everybody, hope you enjoyed the show. Like and subscribe. Clearly we're not going anywhere. We have nothing else to do. So that's the thing is like, if we were cool guys that actually had stuff to do, you'd have to be worried about us disappearing. We don't have anything else to do. I mean, look, I'm wearing this like ladies shirt right now. It's just, I don't have any place to go. Nick, what are you thinking about?
Me?
No.
I was just thinking we got to build the business.
Good idea. Good idea. All right. Anyway, sorry, I got two co-hosts that they're down in the dumps because they're.
No, I'm thinking about buying a Meebit here, dude. I was just looking at Meebits.
Mm-hmm. Are the Meebits in the room with us right now? 2 kicks.
Yes, and they still cost $3,700. $3,700 to get into the Yuga Labs ecosystem.
That's pretty crazy.
I guess it's cheaper to get another Deeds.
See you guys on Easy Show.